Hi everybody, Ralph Havens here from Autoimmune Answers. And this morning's Friday video session for you, your weekly Friday session, came in pretty cool today. I had a great week this week, and I landed a really cool interview with a guy that I've studied with for many years, over about 8 years or so, I think, is when I first found him. And he's going to be, I'm going to be interviewing him on my next Miracles, Magic, and Coffee show, so I'll let you know about that. And something showed up that was, it kind of surprised me a bit, because I thought I had fixed this certain thing that used to happen to me. And so I was thinking about asking this guy to be a guest on my show, and I had a bit of a anxiety, a bit of a twinge, and I had solved the anxiety thing many, many years ago, but I felt it. So I worked through it, and I can tell you a little bit about how I did that. But then I sent out the email, and he's going to be on my show. And it reminded me of a time many years ago when I was in San Diego. I had hired a consultant to help me build my physical therapy and integrative manual therapy practice in Mission Hills in San Diego. And part of the process was I was to get meetings with doctors to help them see that I could help their clients and help them, and so they could send me people. And so it terrified me. I had a lot of anxiety at the time, and the idea of talking to these guys just terrified me. And so I had gotten my first meeting with this orthopedic surgeon in San Diego, a really well-known, respected guy, big guy in the field. And it was on a Friday evening, like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening. Somehow I got a meeting with him. My PR person helped me get this meeting. And so I was talking to my consultant that day, and I was terrified. I mean, my heart was racing. I was sweating. I was like, oh God, I got to go talk to this doctor. And she had me trying to do all sorts of relaxation techniques and visualization techniques and all sorts of stuff. It wasn't working really. I was sitting in that doctor's office, and they had me waiting over an hour. And if you're familiar with doctor's offices, they have this wall of the front office reception people, and then the nursing staff, and then the doctor. And so it's set up in a way that it's kind of intimidating, you know? So there I was for an hour sitting there with nothing to do except just be more and more terrified and scared. And then I got the interview time with the doctor. So I went in, and he didn't even look up. I don't think he probably was surprised that I somehow got a meeting with him. And he never looked up. He kept doing his paperwork. I could tell he just didn't really want me there. And I kept talking and doing my questions, and he would answer, but he wouldn't look up. And it was so uncomfortable. And towards the end, he started to soften up. And by the time we were walking out to the parking lot together, we were joking about how tough it was in the business side of healing, and how Medicare was tough to work with, and we left with really good terms. And since then, he would see me. He drove by my office every morning to go to work. He'd wave, and if I saw him on the street, we considered each other friends, and it was a really good relationship. But the thing was, I had to go through a really uncomfortable thing to just go through it and just do it. So since then, I've learned what to do when something like that shows up. And there's a technique, and I can put a link up here about it, because I've developed a whole way to shift this stuff. And I found some really cool things, some very specific things, so that when one of those things come up, like with this guy that I'm going to be interviewing in another week or two, that fear or that bit of anxiety or that bit of hesitation, you have something to do to go right to the core of what that fear is all about, and clearing it so that then you can do it with ease and comfort, and it's actually fun. Now, sometimes when you're starting out with this stuff, of course, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's kind of like a comedian that gets on stage for the first time, and only one or two of his jokes land and the rest of them flop. You start to develop your craft. So sometimes you're on stage, or you're doing what you're here to do, or you're putting yourself out there, and it's fearful, and it's there's a lot of stress. And it's cool to just go through it and just do it anyway. And then keep doing it and keep doing it and finding your voice. But it's also cool to find the thing that you can do to clear it so that you don't have to deal with that over and over and over again. You could get to it and through it by just practicing over and over and over again, right? But it's also cool to see when that shows up and then have something to do to clear it. So that's today's Friday session for you. We'll just put you in a place, let's time travel you to where you've done the work, and whenever anything shows up, you have something to do that clears it. And even so, when you're uncomfortable doing what you're here to do, you just do it. All right, so I'll put a link up here for more information, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click like and share, and you can go to autoimmuneanswers.com and get on the list, the email list, and I'll be sending you information about when I do the interview with Fred Dodson. He's the developer of reality creation, and it's going to be really cool. I'm going to be asking him, why is it some people succeed and others just don't? What do you really got to know to get to that success thing, and any things that you need to really avoid? So I'm going to be asking him that. Go ahead and subscribe below for the YouTube sessions and videos and everything, and then go to autoimmuneanswers.com and get on the list so that I can tell you when the interviews and more stuff is coming. So great to see you. So happy you're here, and let's get out there and live. Let's really live. All right, everybody. Bye now.